Talking college sports in the Deep South where college football is king. I want to think that the SEC conference is one of the better conferences in college football because of the fierce rivalries that take place, and also the multiple national championships and draft picks. Thus and so, the SEC is able to attract some of the most talented student athletes in the country. Once again, it's Case to the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. We're talking Auburn football like no other for debates, analysis, and we like to get the comment section active. Fearless and true gang, let's go ahead and get it going. Subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports. Once again, we are here on Vernon Speak Sports TV, War Eagle. Now, we talk about the 2018 season, and there was a play in the 2018 season that started some type of revitalization for the Auburn program moving forward. We're talking 7 minutes and 14 seconds into the Auburn and Texas A&M game. Up until that particular point, up until that 7 minute and 14 second point, Auburn looked as if it was headed down a downward spiral. You look at the loss to Mississippi State, look at the loss to Tennessee, sandwiched in with the win over Ole Miss. The win wasn't particularly impressive. You just think Auburn was just that much better than Ole Miss. But you talk about the interception by Noah Igbinoghene with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third quarter for the Auburn Tigers really helped to revitalize Auburn and their fate moving forward for the rest of the season. As a matter of fact, that was the fourth quarter. Auburn was down at that point 24-14, and it looked like Auburn was going to go ahead and finish out with not only a loss there, chances are, which wound up happening anyway, a loss to Georgia. But that particular play really changed the scope of last season, because you talk about a loss to Texas A&M where Auburn was headed. That was going to be very detrimental going towards the end of the season. And you think about the fact that, you know, that play and what ensued after that play really gave the Auburn fan base some hope, honestly, because I happened to look at the replay of that football game today. The crowd noise was back. The pride was back. The players were back enthusiastic about, you know, just being an Auburn Tiger, because the effort prior to that play just was not there. You know, Auburn did not play particularly well in that particular football game, but that play really was the catalyst of greater things to come potentially for the Auburn Tigers. Because if you look at the game, you know, statistically for the Auburn Tigers against Texas A&M, it just didn't look good, you know, going into the fourth quarter. You thought that Auburn was about to take another loss. Auburn actually would have been 5-4 headed into the Georgia game. But instead, because of that particular play, Auburn went on to score 2 touchdowns to win that game, going into the Georgia game with some kind of hope. Of course, they didn't beat Georgia, but going into the game and with all that Auburn had going on, wound up being ranked going into the Georgia game, had a great first half against Georgia, missed a few opportunities for some conversions, in my opinion. It was a 3rd and 2 situation against Georgia where instead of just going ahead and getting the first down, Auburn decides to, you know, get a little cute with the play calling, having to punt on 4th and 2, but still a manageable, respectable showing in the Georgia game. You just did, even though Auburn lost that game 27-10, you just didn't leave with that hopeless sentiment that Auburn had prior to that particular point. So I will say this: if you mark a single play from the 2018 season, it would have to be that interception by Noah Igbinoghene that changed the entire scope of what we saw of the 2018 season. Also, first half against Alabama looked great. Well in the game, was only down by 10 points late in the third quarter. And of course, Alabama started their onslaught with the passing secondary grossly out of position. But you just started to see kind of a revitalization of what Auburn was attempting to do. Then you have the great win over Liberty. Of course, Liberty is a menial opponent, but to cap it off, Gus Malzahn deciding to call plays, really giving a lot of hope going into the 2019 season. Big shout out to Noah Igbinoghene for a season-altering interception in that game. Once again, it's K2 to go for Vernon Speak Sports. We're talking Auburn football like nobody else does or probably won't. Go ahead and comment, like the channel, subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn, giving you constant content. War Eagle.